Hey everybody, time again for another update. It's been a little while. Development's been very busy, so quite a few things happened since the last video, which was for version 1.0.8.2 beta 1. We did half a dozen beta builds, and then 1.0.9.2 got released, and then I've just released 1.0.10.2 as well. So I'm going to catch up on a few things and cover what's changed since that last video was done. So first of all, looking at the 4.3b, we now have a row of icons along the bottom here that show the status of the effects on the pedal. So in my case here, I have the noise gate is enabled, amplifier in the cabinet. Now with these icons, you can actually touch and hold them and jump straight to the configuration for that parameter. So if I wanted to enable reverb, for example, you can touch and hold on that and jump straight to the reverb. As I change presets, you can see that the various icons are changing color. So the grey is disabled. This one has the noise gate enabled on there. So you can see down the bottom here, the effect icons, their position actually reflects the pre or post status that they've been set to on the pedal. So as I'm changing this preset here, you can see that this one just enabled, but that one has rearranged the order. So the noise gate, the compressor has changed to be post rather than pre. So all those values update. There are little icons as well shown on here that indicate the actual parameter. For example, say in this case over here, this one's reverb. So R refers to room for reverb. So if I was to go into here, and so it shows as room, if I change it to say spring 3, then that becomes S3 instead. So these icons, they can be simply short pressed to enable or disable. We can see here, so it's showing the digital delay, D for digital. And over here it has a C, because that's the chorus is enabled for that. Now there's quite a few more parameters have been added in here. So in the amp section, we now have presence and depth in there. And under globals, we have the beats per minute, the BPM, input trim value, and the tuning reference frequency are now all available as parameters on the 4.3. So moving on to the 1.69 Waveshare board, we have these new icons in the corner here. So we have the compressor, the delay, the modulation, and the reverb. We also have a beats per minute indicator on the front here. And as I change presets, you can see the individual effects indicators change color to show whether they're currently enabled or disabled. So let's move on now and have a look at the changes to the web UI. So first thing, I think I might have mentioned already that all of the presets are now synchronized when the device first boots up. So inside this list here now, you have every preset comes up with this description rather than having to load it first. So you get to see them all. In this area here, so we can see these parameters, these now have units applied to them. So we have dB, millisecond, for example. As they move back and forward, you can see the numbers adjust. And if you click on the value itself, you can actually set the exact value that you want with the keyboard. In areas like the modulation, there is now this flashing indicator that shows the frequency effectively. So as I adjust this value, it starts flashing quicker or more slowly. Same for the delay. So another change that's happened with the presets here. Some of them have a sync function which synchronizes the timing with the beats per minute. So when sync is enabled, the time value disappears, and now we have time sign which gives you the fraction of the bits. So for example, 1 on 8 would be 1/8 of the current BPM value. And that applies to all the ones that have a sync function. In the amplifier section here, we have our presence and depth added as well. Under global, we have the beats per minute value, we have our input trim and the tuning reference frequency as well in here, and a button that allows you to actually set the beats per minute. So you can actually click on here and set the value. So you can click more slowly. And the flash rate of the button updates, and so does the interface of the 4.3B. So it's changing as well as I'm doing that, or you can just drag and change that. So we now have a new tab called presets. This section allows custom mapping of all the presets against foot switches. So for example, if you had the chocolate pedal like this, previously it would have been preset 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But now with this here, you have the ability of doing things like hitting these arrows and adjusting the order. So in the case that I have here, so now foot switch 1, 2, 3, 4 would actually load presets 1, 2, 5, and 3. So that can be set up, and it's organized in banks, and that the number per bank depends upon how the foot switch has been configured. In 1.0.8.2, I detailed how you could now toggle effects using a number of foot switches attached via a little SX1509 expansion board. Previously there was 5, so that's been expanded up now, so you can have up to 8 of those total. So there's some examples I've got set in here. In the presets layouts, there's a few more additional ones I've added in here as well. So now have the ability to disable them if you don't want them at all. You could do next, previous, 1x3, 1x4, etc., all the way up to 2x6, and also the option of 1x4 binary switching as well. Had a lot of requests for this one as well. So now with I call them internal foot switches, but foot switches which are directly connected to the PCB, so not using the expansion board, you now have also the option of assigning effects onto those as well. So there's 4 in here, 4 slots that can be used to do effect switching, and the preset layouts have been unified along with the external one. So you have disabled 1x2, 1x3, 1.4 in a binary, for example. Now, in this section here, where you configure an FX, this was previously a number, and you had to look up the manual what the number was. So instead of that now, we actually have a text description of each one, and the context of that changes the other values too. Just for example, if you hit a power, then you no longer have to set the value 1 and value 2, because we know it's just a toggle. But if you were to do something like setting radius, for example, then you have the options of Midi value 1 and 2. There are sliders in here as well now, so allow that a bit easier to be set. And we have additional ones, so yeah, you can set beats per minute, you can do things like tap tempo, you can set the input trim, you can toggle between 2 different input trim values from foot switch pushing, button pushing, and things like cab sim bypass, and whether the tempo source is global or per preset can all be set from this area. So now on the miscellaneous tab, we also have the option of whether you want the preset and bank switching to loop around, as in when you get to, for example, preset 20, whether pushing the next button would wrap back around to preset 1 or not. So that's another option that's in here. Now to wrap up here, there's a few things I'd like to also discuss. So first of all, acknowledging some of the people who have been contributing to this project. I've had in recent times a lot of pull requests and contributions, bug reports and feature requests from quite a number of users. Just in particular, I figured my pronunciation, and this is the names from GitHub. Matus, Jam Kid, Bakatashki, and Yike all have been contributing. Mateus in particular has contributed quite a number of these most recent features. So big thank you to not just those guys, but to everybody who's been contributing and helping out with the project. It's been really good to see, and it makes my life much easier when other people can help out with some work. Finally, I'm doing a collaboration with the crew from Pirate Midi. So Pirate Midi makes wonderful MIDI products, and we've had an agreement now. They're actually going to create controllers. They're gonna sell them. So they're going to sell the they call the Polar Pico, which is based on the Zero board, Polar Mini, which is based on the 1.69, and the Polar Plus, which has 1.69 and a pair of foot switches. So these are all actually running the standard firmware. And as detailed down here, they're going to give a portion of that back to the project, which will allow me to continue funding buying new hardware and that kind of thing. So if anybody wants a pre-made controller, check out Pirate Midi. Support the guys and support the project. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.